they've sellotaped it.
我嚟，
係，
哦，佢黐咗一個口㗎，原來。
Itu berlap-lap. Yang bensin itu berlap-lap ah.
They got rabies, haven't they? Bats. They got rabies.
Roots bad, not rabies.
Touch. Hey guys, Ollie the Tea Guru here on location at Bali. How are we guys doing? Today we're talking about remorse. A good video to follow on after the regret video. So after my words about regret, you do need to be careful about remorse, because there is of course such a thing as buyer's remorse with tea. My personal experiences with buyer's remorse generally comes in two categories. One is buying blind, you know, and the other one is when a tea changes, because tea is not like buying a t-shirt and putting it in a closet for 10 years and then it coming out exactly the same way as you put it in, provided there's no moths. It's subject to change, right? So the first category, buying blind, it's a bit busy, right? Buying blind is a problem, right? So, you know, if you haven't tried a tea, it might be coming at a good price or something. You buy a whole tong, for example, then you try it, and it's not as described, or maybe just don't get on with it for whatever reason. It might just not be your style. So, ants crawling over me. Yeah, so there might not be anything wrong with a tea at all. It just might not be your style, right? You know, so even if the vendor's a reputable vendor and he's got a tight selection of tea, and you've been happy with all the teas you've been trying, you tried 5 or 6 different teas, and yes, great, you might be tempted to just see a tea on the website, like the sound of it, buy a load of it, because you've got so much trust in the tea vendor. You get the tea, it's just not your style. It's, you know, you might appreciate it, but, you know, can you really see yourself drinking a whole tong of this tea? And this is where it just all comes down to sampling. Sample. Really, because, you know, when you buy a mass load of tea, you need to think to yourself, can I live with this? You know, is this a tea that I really want to have a load of? Now, going back to the other subjects, you know, that the tea is subject to change. This is a problem as well. It can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. Tea is always in a state of flux. So you could buy a heap of tea that you really enjoy. You try this tea, it's maybe this year's pressing, beautiful tea. You buy a tong. It's not going to stay like that, you know. It's going to change. It's going to age. It could get better. It usually does get better, but it definitely won't be the same. There's no shame in it. Some people may well just prefer a unaged sheng. They may well prefer a sheng that is between, you know, 0 to 3 years old. Then the tea goes into the awkward phase sometimes, and, you know, it's just not your style, and you're left with a load of it. True, you know, wait 10 years and it's gonna change dramatically. But then you've got to ask yourself, are you the sort of person that likes aged tea? There's a lot of people out there that don't. I love it, but this is it. A definite case of buyer's remorse for me. I bought a few tongs blind. I probably bought about 4 tongs of this tea blind. It was coming at a good price. You know, the description, you could say, was adequate, but I bought it blind, and I got the tea back home, and I tasted it, and it just really had no redeeming features whatsoever. It's just cheap tea with no real sort of, no soul. Let's put it. I've currently got that tea sitting in Hong Kong. I've had it there for a couple of years, hoping that the terroir will sort of change it. I did taste it last year. Still tastes bad, but yeah, I didn't spend heaps of money on that tea, but I definitely have buyer's remorse on that. And that was just a quick sort of instant, I'll go for that. I don't need to try it, let's just give it a shot, and it didn't work out well. Talking about tea being in a state of flux, the tea market in China is similar to the stock market, right? So you've got people buying and selling cases of Dai, Munghai tea factory stuff, and not just them, but lots and lots of different sorts of tea. I was shown a tea last year, and this particular tea was so dirt cheap. Dirt cheap. The reason for that is that basically the processing was muffed up, so it just tasted so smoky because they use wet wood to process the tea. God, this tasted bad, but there's always a buyer, right? So you know, I was told, look, this tea tastes horrible right now, but in 10 years it might taste great, and you're buying it at this dirt cheap price with the anticipation of this tea being an investment. But this particular tea needs humid storage to sort of get past all the dirtiness and try and peek through into the future and see what's there. If you dry stored that tea, probably you're just going to have bad tea in 10 years time. I didn't buy that tea. So yeah, do you remember I was talking about the little house for the gods? And I don't know what these are. I'm guessing these are religious or something, but maybe it's like a little place where the gods live in the area. You see them everywhere. They're just water storage tanks. Very pretty water storage tanks, but hey, I didn't have any idea. Nice idea, huh? Ollie in Bali, talking about remorse. Tell me about your stories of remorse. Hit me down on the comments. Always nice to hear from you. Let's do a little flipperoonie and see what we're looking at right now. Alright, so here we've got the local temple. Little fish pond. There are fish in here. Can you see any fish? No, they're all hiding. Okay, so all these things here, you can see they're offerings. These guys will generally bring out 3 offerings a day. So they've got a bit of a routine. You might have seen this before in a bit of my B-roll in a previous video. Flipping around, we got here, this is like the local market. The market for locals. We'll have a quick sort of look inside, yeah? Just so you get a feel for what this place is. I'll leave my stuff in the corner, it's fine. It's probably not going to get nicked. Oh, they're closed. Well, I came here the other day, it was early morning, and it was all hustle bustle. But that's what we got. Alright, so it's been Ollie on location at Bali. I'd love to hear your comments, guys. So hit me up on the comment section below. Let me hear what your thoughts are on remorse. Ollie the Tea Guru, happy cupping. See you in the next episode. Goodbye.